Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree. Hi, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a kind of a special video because I'm posting it an extra day this week, and that's all because I have over 100 subscribers. Woo! But no, seriously guys, as of making this video, I'm at 102 and that's amazing. I don't think I would have ever assumed that I would have gotten over 100 in only a few months. I know that there's people before me who have gotten well over 100 in just a month or two posting YouTube videos, whether that's due to their own following on other social media or just that they're awesome people. I've also known people who struggle, who have been doing this for months and months or over a year and who haven't gotten to 100. And so I'm really truly honored that you guys are watching me and you seem to like me. You really like me. But other than that cheese fest, we put that aside. I'm just really excited. So I decided to do a bonus video for the week to kind of wrap up the end of the year. And I'm going to do my first book haul video. I have never done any on this channel, even though, yeah, I have been buying books here and there throughout the months. I haven't really talked about it because either I read the books immediately or I just shelved the books immediately and I just haven't talked about them. So here we go. This is my first one. And I do know, and I will just put a note here, there's one more book I'm waiting to get in the month of December, and that is my Fairy Loot. So let me know if you guys want an unboxing video, because I haven't done one of those either. Let me know down below if you want to see a Fairy Loot unboxing for my December Fairy Loot, because that's the only book that I know that I will be getting by the end of December that I haven't yet gotten that should be included in this book haul, because otherwise I'm not buying any more books yet. I have quite a few to get through. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So December is my birthday month and Christmas. So between those two, there's always a good chance that I will get some good books. I kind of kept it very minimal, and some of the books, well, the majority of these books in my pile were books that I picked out for myself, even though they were probably gifted to me from other people. I mean, that's kind of the point of having a wish list. So with that being said, the first book I got in the month of December was on my birthday, and that was a birthday gift from my godmother, and it's the only tarot book you'll ever need. So I have been reading tarot for almost 10 years now, and I've always been interested in it. When I was younger, I'm always into that witchy style stuff. I used to watch a lot of TV shows. I would do little spells when I was a kid, and I always wanted to have a tarot deck. My mom was like, no, we're not bringing that into my house. I don't know if she's superstitious or whatever, because now the woman has had her own tarot reading. So I don't know, people change, I guess. But my first tarot deck was bought by one of my best friends my freshman year of college. And since then, I now have 4 decks. 4? I think it's 4 now. So my cousin bought me this as well as the tarot box, and it is like a starter kit. But I always just feel like, this might be something that I will learn more about as I, continue to read my own tarot cards. So this is kind of a starter box, but the nice thing about this is that they're like literally little mini tarot cards. So I think I'm going to get like a little velvet pouch for these and just take them on the road with me wherever I go. So that way, if I ever feel like inspired to do a tarot reading, I could do that. And in the meantime, I am going to check this book out, I think, as well. So I think it's just legit, kind of breaks down all of the card meanings. And, in classic decks, every deck might have a little bit of differences, whether they use like different terms or like, pentacles or like something else instead of pentacles, that kind of thing. But this should kind of sum everything up, I think. So I don't know. Anyway, this was a birthday gift. I'm really excited about it. And I just love that my family and friends encourage my little habits that I have, i.e. reading tarot cards. Also, I'm just going to throw a tidbit in here while I'm doing this video. I do kind of have a video for 2020 planned that has to do with my tarot cards, so I'm very excited to share that with you guys. The next book on my list is the only one that I actually bought with my own money, but I found it at, I'm pretty sure I found it at like Goodwill or something. I found it really cheap. Oh, you know what? I found it at Salvation Army. I was in between sessions there, like for my therapy job, and I had a little bit of time to kill. I didn't know what to do. So while I was waiting, I just went into the local Salvation Army and I found this there. And I'm really happy I did, because I'm also doing another video, I think, in the year 2020 where I want to read recommendations from booktubers and kind of see if like they're, you know, worthwhile, especially the big booktubers. So this one in particularly, I had put it on my list probably over a year ago, and Emma Books talked about it, and that's Words on Bathroom Walls. The only thing, it's by Julia Walton, by the way, but the only thing that I know is that it does follow it's a young adult contemporary that follows a kid with schizophrenia. So that's pretty much all I know. I think it follows him and like kind of also him liking someone and being afraid that they're going to find out that he has schizophrenia. So the only thing that I'm going to say going like my pre-thoughts of this is that I'm very interested to see how it's going to be done, because as someone who is a therapist and deals with mental health every day, schizophrenia is not a disease that is diagnosed very early, if ever early. It's typically, schizophrenia will come out when you're about 20 some years old, 21, 22. That's when it really starts to form. Otherwise, a lot of times you'll see bipolar disorders. Sometimes you might see personality, but again, bipolar, personality disorder, schizophrenia, they're all later onset, which just means that you don't start seeing signs of these disorders until you're a young adult, like 18, 19, or even a little bit later. So I'm interested to see how this is going to play out, just because commonly if we're saying this is a 16 or 17-year-old boy, that probably wouldn't actually be diagnosed that early. So I'm just interested. It could still be very well done. I mean, obviously there are cases where kids will be diagnosed with some of these hard-hitting mental health disorders, but that's just my little pre-thought of it. I'm definitely will be reading this in 2020, probably to do with the booktuber recommendations video, so stay tuned for that review. The next book on my list was a White Elephant grab bag gift that my husband technically got, but I benefit from it as well. And I'm literally so excited to get this book. It's hilarious. But it is Go the Fuck to Sleep by Adam Mansbach and illustrated by Ricardo Cortez. So I'm pretty sure this has gotten traction in the past because I think it is Morgan Freeman or something, or maybe it's just someone who sounds like Morgan Freeman but actually narrates this, and it's hilarious. Essentially, it's just if you have kids, if you're watching this and you have kids, you probably can relate. I just laugh at it just knowing that I've worked with kids and I've worked with foster kids and I have nieces and nephews, and pretty much it's just kind of like what every parent would want to tell their kids during like a bedtime. So it's like a bedtime story for like the parents, essentially. Like the one passage was really cute where it was just something like, I know you don't need that glass of water, just go the fuck to sleep. So like I said, it's super, super cute. It's a book and I love having these kind of things in my collection. And even though it is technically my husband's, it's now going in my library. All right, so the next couple books in this book haul are books that I picked out for myself and were gifted to me for Christmas. So I'm just gonna warn you guys as you're watching this, I have a very big issue of buying sequels to books that I have not read. So a huge part of this book haul is just me buying the sequels and telling myself I should probably start reading the books. And I've done this, I've backed myself into corners with this in the past, because I will buy books and then I actually usually I'll like the series, but there's been plenty of times still where I haven't liked the first book and I either decided that I'm not continuing on with it, or I've bought an entire series and just decided that I probably aren't as interested. Like the boat sailed long ago and I was still clinging on to these. For instance, the Fallen series, which was about like fallen angels, and I don't know who it's by. I bought all those books and unhauled them without ever reading them, because I started reading the Hush Hush series, which I did the same thing for. I bought all the books. I read, I think, the first 2 of that series, and I just decided it was not the time to read them. I wasn't enjoying them. I thought they were pretty juvenile. They were an older YA series. So I unhauled the Hush Hush series, and then shortly thereafter unhauled the entire Fallen series without reading any of them. So this year, maybe I'll stop doing that and I'll actually read the books that I have. Maybe. Probably not, because there's only 365 days in a year and I don't get around to reading all the books I want to. But anyway, I digress. The books in the rest of the book haul. Here we go. So I also picked up The Hollow by Jessica Verde. So This book, it has a real simple explanation. One of my best friends bought me the second book of this series on accident. She meant to buy this book for me because it's one of her favorite series and she wanted me to enjoy it as well. But she accidentally bought me the second one. So I finally picked up the first one so that I can get through the series. And this is almost a 500-page book. Like, holy cow. Child, what are we doing here? Also, now that I'm looking at it, yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that this was actually the first book because then I panicked. But yeah, so it's The Hollow, The Haunted, and The Hidden. And I think this is about, it takes place in like Sleepy Hollow and she falls in love with a ghost. So it is like a ghost paranormal romance, I think. I don't know. I just feel bad because she bought me this like probably 2 years ago with the second book in the series. So I feel like I just owe her the time of day and to finally read this series. But it's hefty. Although the words, now that I'm looking at it, like the pages are pretty, like, the words are pretty big. So maybe it won't be as long as I'm thinking it is. But chunky bad boy. Okay. The next book in my book haul is The Death of Mrs. Westerway by Ruth Ware. So I did read The Woman in Cabin 10 by her. I enjoyed it, but I was kind of getting jaded by the unreliable female narrator trope. So I just kind of was like, I was a little on edge and I haven't read a lot of thrillers because of that reason. However, this book I've heard so many people rave about, and then The Turn of the Key was the next one after this, which also I heard a lot of people rave about. So I decided I'm going to give her another shot, and I definitely own In a Dark, Dark Wood. I don't think I own The Lion Game, which is like her other book. So in theory, I could probably power through and read some more of Ruth Ware's stuff, especially when I'm in the mood for a good mystery thriller. But I don't know anything about this book other than, that might be a lie. I'm pretty sure someone dies and their estate is like up for like their heir, like whoever she named as an heir. And this girl, I think, gets the letter by mistake. So she goes because she's in a pickle and she really needs like the money that this estate might provide. So she goes there to kind of claim it as, you know, like she's being a fraud. Like she isn't the person she says she is. And then like stuff happens. I'm pretty sure that's the premise of this book. I'm excited. And it's been a while since I've read a thriller. So I should probably do that soon, right? Right? Okay. The next book in this book haul is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab, and this is just, this is the sequel to The Savage Song, and the reason I have this is because I'm just bougie and picky with how I have my books, and I had the first book I got in an owl crate, and I loved it, and then I won the second book in a giveaway, and I was so excited. However, which is, you know, it's nothing against the person, but they ended up giving me a paperback copy. And I like my series to match because this is who I am as a person. So I ended up finally picking up the hardcover from Book Outlet because I just wanted them to both be the same. I don't mind if they're paperback or hardcover. I don't like when they're two different things. So that's why I bought this. I will be unhauling my paperback version so that I don't have to have two copies of the same book. But this is just a series about monsters, and there's 3 different kinds of monsters, and there's these monster hunters, and like the cities aren't safe because every bad thing that happens can form a monster. So you follow a monster as well as the daughter of like the person who kind of is known to be keeping the monsters at bay. It's just 2 books kind of following both of those characters, and I think it was well done. I was a little disappointed in the series, so obviously, like I said, I've already read this series in the past, and I just wanted the hardcover copy, but it is one that I think I will read in the future, which is why I wanted one to match my first book. Okay, so here we start going with all of these crazy, I'm buying sequels without reading the books. And the first one that I have that is Fireblood by Ellie Blake. The first one is Frostblood, and it's kind of like elemental-based magic where I'm pretty sure the 2 nations, like the Firebloods and the Frostbloods, are feuding, and I think what happens in the first one is that our main character lives in the Fireblood Nation. And I'm starting to sound like I'm talking about Avatar, but I do think this is slightly like gives Avatar vibes from what I've seen about reviews. Anyway, so the girl who lives in it might be the Frostblood. She lives in the Frostblood tribe, but she is actually a Fireblood, and she's trying to hide those powers so that she doesn't get found out. I'm pretty sure it's only 2 books, to my knowledge. So I'm just like, you know what, whatever. It's 2 books. We can binge it, right? maybe, I don't know. But I love elemental magic, so I figured I'm just going to give it a shot. So I haven't read the first book. I should probably power through this next year. In the same vein, I have A Sorrow, Fierce and Falling by Jessica Cluess. And this is the third book in the series. A Shadow, Bright and Burning is the first. The second is A Poison, Dark and Drowning. And I own all three of these now because I keep buying them with the intention of reading them. The only reason I ended up getting this one as well is because Sam at Thoughts on Tomes really, really loves the series and raves about it, and I typically align a lot with what books she reads, so I decided that, you know, because she was kind of raving about it in some of her end of the year videos, I was like, yep, I'm gonna buy this, and I'm gonna read the series next year. This video is probably gonna be a sham, because I'm gonna tell you I'm reading all of these next year, and then I'll probably put them off, but I have good intentions at least, and I hope I get to this one. But these covers are gorgeous, and I'm pretty sure it's a historical fantasy, which I've been in the mood to read a lot more of lately, and I don't know why, so I might pick this one up actually, since I'm in the mood and I'm a huge mood reader. The next book I picked up is The Caged Queen by Kristen Ciccarelli. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is a companion novel to her first book, which is The Last Namsara. I'm pretty sure it has to do with maybe dragons. You know what? I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I don't know what the series is about. I feel like there was something to do with dragons in it, but I don't know. So I really bought these for the covers. I'm guilty. The covers are beautiful. It is a high fantasy series. I'm hoping I like them now that I bought 2 of the books and haven't read them yet, but here we are. So, the next book that I've got was Countdown City by Ben H. Winters. So, this is a little bit of an older one, and I think it's like this is a sequel to The Last Policeman by Ben Winters. And The Last Policeman follows a policeman as a comet is hurtling through the earth and about to wipe out civilization as they know it. So it's kind of like an almost apocalyptic book where I think the main person is trying to figure out how to like kind of save the earth. The reason that I have the first book is because back in college in like 2011, maybe 2012, Ben Winters was a guest, right? They did the series where it was like a visiting author series at my college, and he was one of the visiting authors. So he read some samples. He's pretty well known for I think it's Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters was like the big one. And that one was published at the time. And then he had also just published The Last Policeman, I'm pretty sure. Huh. You know what's strange is now that I'm looking at this, it says in here like what he's written, and Sense and Sensibility Sea Monsters is not in there. Does he not take credit for that book anymore? I don't know. Okay, anyway, so I really, really loved Ben, and when he was reading it out loud, like both Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters and The Last Policeman, I was really like, I gravitated towards his writing style and the premise of it, so I just bought The Last Policeman. And I've been meaning to. So it's been 8 years since I bought that book, and I have not read it. He signed it and personalized it to me and everything, and I've never read it. So I bought the second one with the intentions that now I have 2. It's a trilogy. I should read it finally. In the same vein, I felt that Ben Winters was following me around all year this year because I was watching, I believe it was like a superhero show, and I don't know which one it was. If it was like Legion, or it might have been like The Gifted or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's superhero though, because that's like the only thing that I actually watch on cable, and I don't even watch that when it comes out. I typically watch it on DVR. But anyway, my point is that when I was watching it, at the end credit, like who wrote the episode was Ben Winters, and I was like, oh my god. And that's what kind of sparked me to kind of think that I should probably read his book again, is because I'm like, oh my god, like that guy was so cool, and look, he's writing for TV, and that's awesome. So that happened, and then shortly after that, there was an email that I got, and I'm not subscribed to like Ben Winters, like a personal like email subscription from him. I'm just with the publishers I'm subscribed, and it came across that Ben Winters was having a new book out. So I contemplated pre-ordering it, and then I decided not to. I'm like, I should probably save my money just because I haven't read any of his other books. And then it was on Book Outlet, so for Christmas, someone bought me it, and that would be Golden State by Ben H. Winters. I don't know what it's about. I like to support people who I met and I feel like they deserve it. That's pretty much how my mind works. Since I loved Ben in person like all those years ago and he still left an impression on me, I just want to support him. So here we go. And now I have this book. I do believe it talks about living in California and something about, I don't know, society. I have no idea. I'm just excited. The email where I almost pre-ordered it, the email really sold this to me. But anyway, I'm going to try to read this year. I'm going to try to read Ben Winters and finally actually truly support him by actually reading the book. Okay, this is going to be a really long video because I just keep talking. Anyway, the two last books that I have are also books that I've now bought because of booktubers talking about them. I'm pretty sure this one is also recommended by Emma Books, but it also might have been recommended by Haley in Bookland. I can't remember. And oh man, I watch a lot of booktubers, so it could be anyone or it could be all of them. But anyway, that's The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. This is also, I'm pretty sure, a mental health young adult book, and I bought it because they had sold it to me, but I can't remember what it's about now. This book, how like do you listen to me when I talk? Because this is like a ramble. Oh, I just say the word Illuminati. It has New Year's Eve. Oh, they're stuck in an airport on New Year's Eve. Oh, and the best friend had died, so it's the anniversary of their death. And then people swap phones. And it's like an adventure. Okay. So maybe it's about like the aftermath of having someone die so young and kind of like dealing with that and grief. That might be what it is. Anyway, I'm excited. Also, I guess it's I guess New Year's Eve. Should I read this on New Year's Eve? Huh. Maybe I will. Maybe this was a sign. Okay. Anywho, next. The last book I bought in this book haul was a very last minute decision because Books and Lala recommended it with her like Goodreads wrap up, and that's Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. So this is an adult literary novel, maybe. I think it was supposed to be in like the thriller. Okay, yeah, it's a literary courtroom thriller. That's what it said. But she kind of described it that it wasn't as much of a thriller. But Angie Kim was previously a lawyer, so she has a lot of like the real life perspective, and Books and Lala sold it to me. The way that she described this book and how it was like talked about and drawn out, I was like, okay, I'm sold. Here we go. We're gonna read it. I've read a few other books that have like courtroom settings to date. One was one of my old English professors in college ended up coming out with a book that was half like true life courtroom stuff and half memoir. It was called The Fact of a Body. So that like she was actually a lawyer previously, and so she was going through all of this like this really, it was like a murderer or a rapist or both of children, and she was kind of like, as she was going through and being a lawyer or trying to be a lawyer and doing her internship and like going through this case, it was bringing back a lot of her own history, being abused as a child. So she kind of interwove the two things. Even though it was like a heavy topic, like the book itself was so enlightening and worthwhile to read. And then I also read Where the Crawdads Sing, which also has a lawyer courtroom aspect to it, where you kind of go back and forth and you have like the courtroom setting and then like her entire life history. Both of those books I gave 5 stars to. So considering that this is like a courtroom thriller, I actually might really like this. So that's all I want to know going into it. It's also a beautiful cover. But I'm really excited, guys. We're expanding my horizons, hopefully, in the next year. So there we have it. Those are all the books I got in the month of December. As I mentioned previously, I do have a fairy loop coming any day now, and I just don't know what's actually going to be in it. I didn't look into what book might be in it, so I can't even tell you what it's going to be because I won't look at spoilers. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this bonus video for the end of the year. Thank you so much for getting me to 100 subscribers before the end of the year. And I hope that I continue to put out content that you guys like. Stay tuned because my next video is going to be my best books of 2019. And hopefully we can have a great discussion about it. So until next time, guys, thanks for sticking around. I'll see you then. Bye.